Staley, so happy. The game was such a good game. It was so close at times. And in the end, you guys pulled it out. But was there ever a point during the game when you were worried? Because I got worried. We were all cheering for Iowa, of course, and Caitlin Clark. But for so many people, you've got their hearts. Was there ever a point where you were worried during the game?
I wasn't ever worried during the game. I know, when we went down 10-0.
Gayle King's supposed to be somebody that's big in the journalism space, right? And I don't consider her black media. Y'all give her all these passes because she's Oprah friend. I don't know what friend she is. They don't do nothing for nobody. But you cannot demean Dawn Staley like that. You talking to her about winning the championship, about going undefeated, and you have the nerve to get on there and say, well, we was rooting for Caitlin Clark and you broke everybody's hearts. Who is we? Who is we? All the black people I know was rooting for Dawn Staley. We all fans of Caitlin Clark, but the way you put it, that's yeah, and it's I'm glad it's a new day in the media space. You know what I'm saying? Because you so intelligent, you don't even say stuff like that to somebody on the interview. You just demeaned her and made it about Caitlin Clark. That's trash. It's super trash.
Usually I don't even respond to this cat, Uncle Ruckus, a.k.a. J. Whitlock. To say that I'm rooted for Dawn Staley over Caitlin Clark simply because she was black is the dumbest thing to say. I was a big Dawn Staley fan. What number did I wear my rookie year? 24. The sad part is, you can't go a day without hating on black people. You nothing but a puppet and a brown noser for the hating minority part of the world. That's what you do. You give people confidence to hate. I guess it's not racist when the black man said, huh? And that's not being a free thinker or being free-minded. You just a sucker, and you've been a sucker. And you find a way to demean people to get attention. But nobody watch your show, bro. You're not a part of the culture. And I hate I even addressed you because you probably can't even hear me because you're somewhere breathing hard trying to get up the steps. Facts. We give Caitlin Clark nothing but love and we'll continue to. I have daughters that play basketball. We support the WNBA just like we support the NBA. Happy 420 to all my bud brothers and sisters out there. Coming up, you're going to start seeing me wear a lot of WNBA jerseys, and I will have Caitlin Clark jersey on. Whitlock, idiot. Love for all who have love for all. We know how to support our people and be proud and black without demeaning the next race. You dig? You should try it. You have a good weekend.
This is Gayle King speaking off the cuff in an interview with Dawn Staley, where she's basically trying to both sides the issue. Hey, Caitlin Clark was the story. We were all rooting for Caitlin, but you had our heart. That's what she said. She's clearly both siding the issue. We're rooting for Caitlin Clark. It's a fun story, but you're in our heart. So I want to frame up Stephen Jackson in this regard and what goes on particularly in the black community, media space, punditry space or whatever. Steve is a correctional officer. That's the theme of today's show. Steve is a correctional officer, a CO. He's there to correct the thinking of black people who might think the wrong thing or who don't want to align themselves purely based on race. And I use the word correctional officer intentionally because correctional officers work in jails and prisons. And inside of jails and prisons, all the alliances among the inmates are based on race. Black dudes line up with black dudes, Mexicans line up with Mexicans, white guys line up with white guys, Asians, if they happen to be in there, they're kind of on their own, but maybe they'll choose a team, who knows? But as a correctional officer, Stephen Jackson's job, it's really what they've done because when slavery ended, there was no use for an overseer anymore. And so what they did was name people correctional officers. You run out and correct black people who think or say the wrong thing. You keep them locked up in this little prison that we have for them where their thoughts can exist and they can run free within this limited space as black.
Yo, 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 it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in once again on another demonstration of the 2024 energy and mindset being put on display for the entire world to see. And if you follow, you already know how we speak on the capital C's. Confusion, chaos, controversy, conflict, and confrontation being a major part of the conversation when it comes to keeping the internet on fire this entire year. As I did see this conversation start to build up towards the end of the week last week, after people felt the way how Gayle King handled the interview with Dawn Staley and talked about the championship and everything like that. And what Jason Whitlock did and what he is saying right there, I don't want to put that on Steven Jackson, because that wasn't about trying to tear down another race or tell people they need to ride directly with their race and everything. It was about somebody who really, as a Gayle King, she works for CBS, is speaking out of turn in a way and also disrespecting in a way, if you'd have played sports before, the way you talking about the team we beat, that's just kind of like, well, hold on, bro. Yes, we know Caitlin Clark is a hooper. Yeah, we know Caitlin Clark get down. Yeah, we know Caitlin Clark was the face of the media, but we beat her already. This is my interview and everything like that. For you to come tell me, hey, you know, we was going with her and everything, you were in the people's hearts. What does that even mean? That comes off real different from our people, just keeping it all the way 1,000. That doesn't mean that we tearing nobody else down because of their race. It's just keeping it all the way 1,000. And we know with what Gayle King did in the past after Kobe passed away, the way that she handled Lisa Leslie, people are going to expect you to look out for your own people. Like, hold on, bro. Why would you put your own people on blast like that in a moment, in a hot seat on national TV and make them feel uncomfortable? And that's just what it is when it comes to this entire world, bro. I don't care what race you is. You don't have to tear down another race, because that's not what Steven Jackson was doing in that moment. But you're going to be like, well, dang, bro, we supposed to be brothers or sisters. Why you put me on the spot like that? And once again, she came off with this. It'll be different if she was an analyst on TV every day for years and years covering NCAA women's basketball and rooting for Caitlin Clark the whole time, pressing for Caitlin Clark and letting it be known, hey, I'm a super Caitlin Clark fan and I'm pushing for her in basketball and everything like that. And then the world would know, well, hey, she been a Caitlin Clark fan, as opposed to you just being a prisoner in the moment and not just letting this coach have her moment as if she won and did something very dope and everything. And when Jason Whitlock caught wind of it, he had went to Twitter and said, this is a prison mentality. Choose sides based on skin color, not values. We've normalized the prison worldview rather than a biblical worldview. It's sad. We don't even recognize the immorality and illogic. And when Steven Jackson had caught that tweet, he had made that other video up, calling him Uncle Ruckus and calling him a brown nose and stuff. And he came back to Twitter and said, Steven Jackson is a correctional officer. He's there to correct the thinking of black people who might think the wrong thing or who don't want to align themselves purely based on race. Steven Jackson's job is to spread a prison mentality among black people. There's another way to think, something called a biblical worldview, and it will serve you better. And what I don't agree with Jason Whitlock is he just dropped this video right here yesterday, and I had a link in the description because it did carried over now, and he pressing a line on it. I can't agree with you throwing that on Steven Jackson like that. That's a gaslighting comment. Because, fam, the world was moving in the thing of aligning yourself with race on certain situations before this. He's not telling us to align everything with race because he gets into it with more black people than anybody. This is what Steven Jackson does. So he's not basing this off of race. So to try to take that and spin that narrative, I don't agree with that at all in that moment. You can't do the game like that, bro. He just calling Gayle King out for her situation. Because if it don't apply, we gonna let it fly. And if it do apply, we not letting it fly when it come to race. Because we gonna get on each other quicker than we get on anybody else. This ain't about no race situation when it comes to that. And when we talking about race and prison mentality, fam, the racial divide did not bleed from prison into the streets. That was going on in the world in itself already with certain situations, bro. Especially in America. Come on now. Segregation desegregation only been here for like 60 years, my boy. You got to know that. Only 160 for slavery being ended. What is we talking about? That was based off of race. Nothing more, nothing less. So to try to tell everybody about the biblical view and put that on Stephen Jackson, I cannot agree with that at all. Maybe people took his intentions wrong, but his intentions was in the right place. He was like, hey, bro, I rock with this coach. When you talking to a championship coach, you handle that conversation a little bit better and everything like that. Just keeping it all the way 1,000. And he letting her know, hey, that ain't the right way to handle that. Just keeping it all the way 1,000. That ain't got nothing to do with tearing down another race, trying to make everybody from my race think the exact same way. It's just calling, hey, bro, we got to really speak the real on it because people got voices now to be heard and everything. And also as well, I will say Jason Whitlock at times, he does give factual information. He does speak the real about certain things because he has the details and the information right there. That is not to tear that part around. I know how to look at stuff and cut the fat out and take the real that we need and everything that could be said and used to gain and separate the other stuff. As Jason Whitlock can be entertaining because his delivery on certain stuff, I ain't gonna lie, I do be laughing at him at times. I laughed at this one a little bit. It's just his voice and everything like that, how he be sitting there nonchalant like one of them little uppity nerds and stuff, but nah. That ain't that, bro, at all. That's not nobody trying to tell nobody, let's start a race war or nothing like that, like he in prison. That's right there is taking it overboard. But tell me what y'all think. We got more videos, all at 1,000 for shit show. Stay on your pivot.